Good afternoon, everybody. It is 12:35 on Thursday. This will serve as my first and only video of the week. Sorry, I'm a little bit behind. Usually I try to get 2 videos out for everybody. Fortunately, been a little bit slack in here because of some things. But in any case, there's a lot to unpack today. I'm going to try to be as concise with this specific video to kind of outline some of the economic data and how it affects our positions and our trading. I'll try to dial in some technicals on a very minimalistic level and how we're going to trade. As you can see behind me, all of the major indexes are green on the day. That is mainly boosted by the fact of the GDP numbers. So you probably could see the headline, but basically the GDP numbers came out better than expected this morning. That helped. I think there's a lot of other information that we should review and kind of go over, some things that I like, some things that I don't like. I'm going to go over some metrics which I jotted down that I think are important. So I think one of the interesting things, and I'm going to pull out the regional bank ETF, the KRE, which is, as it said, the regional ETF for banking, is at a 3-year high. Going rapidly to a record high. Very hard to be bearish when you've got regional banks at these levels. So I just wanted to point that out. These are the regional banks, as you can see them breaking out. That is a positive for the market. Also wanted to point out a couple other things. We obviously have the midterms coming up for the parties, and I'm going to just point it out just off of history. When you have a split, when Congress splits, it is better for the stock market historically. So what we would want, and I'm not saying this is what we want, but I'm talking in the context of just equities and investments. So we want the Republicans to lose the House but keep the Senate. That would be a split. I'm not saying I'm necessarily in favor of that, but I'm always going to lean to what's going to help the stock market. That would help the stock market, at least historically. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm not trying to make this a political thing, but, anyways, historically, that's the way it has always been. Also, Rick Ryder, who is BlackRock, I'm sure you guys have seen him before. He is surging in the betting polls to become the next Fed chair. So I'm assuming now Kevin Hassett has been pushed aside and he's coming in. So my thoughts on that is I don't really know how I feel about a BlackRock employee being the Fed chair of the United States. That's just on the basic level. It seems very conflictual. I don't think that's appropriate. I could be wrong. I don't know. It says that he might get it. Trump might appoint him. I don't know. I don't know how that's going to abode with everybody. I would imagine, though, that he is still going to cut rates because he's always been in favor of lower rates. So I think in the aspect of rate cuts, I think you're going to see lower rates if he does get appointed. I don't know that he will, but he is surging in the polls, in the betting polls. All right, now that we've got all of that mumbo jumbo out of the way, let's talk a little bit about, we had the tariff tantrum again over the weekend with Trump in correlation to Greenland. If by now you don't know that when you hear the tariff tantrum, you buy that. It's very well documented. You buy the tariff tantrum and you sell the rip, because sure enough, we got the news yesterday that Trump was easing on the tariffs because he got kind of what he wanted for Greenland. Which makes sense. Again, not to go down the political, I am in favor of certain things surrounding Greenland. But he got what he wanted. He pulled the tariffs back, and sure enough, the market just ripped up. And so let's look at this on a technical chart. We'll pull up the NASDAQ because that, to me, is the most important. So today is Thursday. As you see, the market is up. Wednesday, the market went up after the morning. Tuesday, the market went down. That was the first day of the market this week because we had Martin Luther King. The tariff talk from Trump was over the weekend. So on Monday, sure enough, the market gapped down. As you can see, very elevated volume. Pay attention where that cursor's at. That is elevated. However, yesterday, it got it all back on close enough volume. Not necessarily the same, but close enough. And then today, we're having an acceleration upwards, and we've broken finally back over the moving averages. which, as you know, to me is a large indicator for how I trade. So I'm still on green. I haven't changed. Even with the down day, I didn't change. I truthfully thought that gap down day on Tuesday was just a product of Trump saying the tariffs, and this market is very news related. And if you don't know history over the last 8 months, this is par for the course. Trump says something about tariffs, the market goes down. Trump says the tariffs are going away, the market goes up. I mean, if you're not paying attention yet, I don't know what to tell you. So, anyways, that's what happened there. Gold, just pointing out gold for all of you. Yes, I'm still on target, 5,000 an ounce. I think I'm beating a dead horse for all you guys that have been listening to me for a while. I had people said I was crazy. They said this was the top. I actually heard this was the top here. It was right here where I heard everybody say this was the top. But I still think gold's going to 5,000 an ounce. Anyways, all right, moving right along. Bitcoin hanging in there. Made this top here, came right down, especially with that news. What worries me is, and I'm going to point out a correlation, the futures market opened Sunday at 6 o'clock. And so even though there was no trading on Monday, the futures market opened at 6, okay? One of the things that stood out to me is people like to say that Bitcoin doesn't trade with the overall market, and I would disagree. Here's the thing. On Saturday, which I have to go back, Bitcoin was steady and flat. The minute the futures market opened at 6, with futures went down, Bitcoin went right down with it. To me, that indicates that Bitcoin is trading with the market, which I don't like. I really don't like. But just pointing that out, it's something that I saw and I pay attention to. So it should affect the way you're trading in the market, because knowing the correlation to the two could be beneficial for you. Okay, I digress. Now we've got the NASDAQ. We discussed that. Behind me, you've seen all the major indexes. The Russell has just been on fire. The Russell, I have to point out the Russell. This is the Russell small. I mean, you got to see this in real. I mean, this is just an unbelievable move. And over the last, 2 weeks, I think the market is front running really lower rate cuts and expanding multiples. And so the Russell has consumed the small cap growth names. So pay attention to that. You could trade that through. You could trade it through the TQQ, even though this is more QQQs, but it kind of correlates. Anyways. Okay, so let's go into stocks. We've got some great winners over the last couple of weeks. We've been hitting it really good. We have a loser or two, but for the most part, it's been a lot of winners. So I'm going to start off, and let me start by saying I've been trading a lot of small caps. I've been trading a lot of runners. I've hit really good on a couple runners. Case in point, Red Cat. For those of you who received those texts from me, some of you are up 50, 60%. I did sell out of this name entirely, and I did not catch this move today, but I got everything yesterday. I did make over 50% on my money. No, I wouldn't chase this, but this is becoming interesting because I think a pullback to the 5, I'm buying this again. So keep an eye on this. This was a great winner. Was a great trade for the week, or for the last 2 weeks. So that's been good. AG, another one that I pointed out, which was really the correlation to silver. I mentioned this to a lot of people. I did sell this today. I'm completely out of this trade now, but I've been trading this. Another one where I think you can wait till this pulls back to the 5. This is a silver miner, and you could probably take this as well. It's been a great trade. All right, let's go into SanDisk. Another one I told you, look, so this is becoming a model book stock. I mean, this is super micro of 2024. I know some of you are going to say this is extended. I pointed this out last week. I bought it. I'm up now like another 20%. I get it. It's hard to buy stocks that are extended, but let me tell you, they can continue becoming more and more extended, and this is going to get further and further higher. I'm a believer it's going higher. So I did buy it last week when I pointed it out on my video when it touched the moving average, but look at it just riding that. You ride the trend till the trend breaks. SanDisk, this is not for financial purposes. Rather, this is for educational purposes. This is not advice financially. This is for educational purposes. And so we have, let's see here. We've got, let me pull. Okay, my apologies. I had to pause the video for a second. Okay, so SanDisk is still actionable. I mean, look, some of you are not going to want to buy this. I get it. I'm in it. Whatever. If you feel, I can only tell you what I'm doing. So I put this one. I believe I mentioned this on my video last week. I bought this last week. I'm up 20% on this one. I am still in this one. This is actually one that is actionable still. I've been having a lot of luck with these smaller names. This is not as small of a name, but man, I really caught this one off the wedge. Here's another one I bought yesterday. I am in the hole on this one. Small stock. I think this one's going to rage as well. So I like this one. I'm not telling you buy it, but I bought this yesterday and I am down like 6-7%. And so for the record, in most environments I'm trading, I'm 5 to 7% stop losses. I'm buying small caps. I am not setting 5 to 7% losses. I'm setting like 10 now. Much wider, and I'm giving them room to be a little bit more volatile. I think this market is conducive for that type of trading, and so that's what I'm doing, and I'm having quite a bit of success. So I adapt to what the market is giving me, but let me keep it moving along. CERS, I rebought this back. For those of you who know, I was trading this. I sold out of it. I bought it back yesterday, up today 5%. I think this is also actionable. Small stock, small name. All right, now moving along to the bigger names, Novo. So I pointed this out. I'm going to just, again, I think this is an actionable name. I doubled my position in my IRA again, actually yesterday, because I wanted to own more shares. I'm very bullish on this. So Novo is in the IRA, not in the trading account, but you can trade this. I still think this is actionable up to 80. Okay. Seagate, I'm back in Seagate. I had that trade last week. I got back out. It tapped it tapped the moving average yesterday, got back in. I still think this is actionable. A lot of trading going on here. A lot of trading. Okay. IMNM, which is one of my favorites for 2026. I've been very fortunate on this. I'm up really nicely. So this is another actionable name, and I want to tell you, I think this is going to break out. I think this is going to just go high. Let it get past the channel, but this is a name that I'm in, and I'm kind of going through this video going a little bit faster because I'm just telling you what I'm in. I'm not going to start pointing out, all of the technicals that I use because I think it's a waste of time. I think for those of you that want to learn that, you're going to learn that. You can reach out to me. I'll help that. But I'm not going to start pointing out technicals in every aspect here. So I am in that name. I am still in Taiwan Semiconductor. As you can see, I am very invested at the moment from a lot of different names. Taiwan, I'm still in this. Had a nice little shakeout here, and I think it's going to get its groove back, and it's boogieing now. So, and had some good news. And they raised their price target yesterday, as you can see from the headline. Still in Reddit, though Reddit has flatlined for me. I'm down 3 or 4% on this. Forget this double top. This is not something I would chase. I'm just pointing it out. I'm in it. I'm down 3%. I want to be transparent with the trades that I have, and so everybody's aware, because some people are like, oh, but you didn't tell me this. You didn't tell me that. I get tech. Well, I'm in this. I'm down 3% as of right now. So no, I'm not telling you to buy it because I don't think this is a buy right now, but whatever. United, I put this on my list for 2026 as a recovery name. It has earnings coming up next week. I'm excited. I think it's going to finally break out of this you could see this shelf action. I like that it broke above the high there. I think this thing, I think is going to have a good earnings. I'm still in this. Okay. All right. AMD. So I remember I told you guys when I sold it, I did buy it back, and I bought it back yesterday. So I'm back in AMD. The real trigger for you is here, though. You really need to get above that 265, but I'm in it. I like the movement. I think it now has got its legs under it. It's going to hit 300 a share. All right. I think that's it. Did I buy? I don't think I bought this one. No, I did not. I want to point out a couple names that have been huge winners for me as well. Not basking in the glory here, but Netflix, I told you guys this was a short. People argued with me. Look at this. Just take a look at this. Just absolutely announced They were right in this area. I don't know specifically. They announced their stock split, diluted out because of greed, and now look at it. It has lost over 20 a share, and it's going low. And I think the growth story for Netflix is about done. Yeah, I'm not in the short anymore. I did close it out somewhere in this region. I don't remember the exact date. But pointing it out, and I do think if it gets above this here, I'm going to short it again back down. I am still in my Rigetti short, which is not really panning out. This is, I like to point out, a loser here, though I'm still confident. I don't love this little shelf. I kind of would love to see it break down under here, but I'm still in the short. So either way, up 4% today, and that is not winning for me at the moment. But everything else seems to be doing good. Okay, guys, have a great week. Have a great weekend. Pay attention to the news. If there's another Trump talk of him announcing tariffs, buy that. I think you should. Well, this is not financial advice. Don't do what I'm going to tell you. I'm going to buy any tariff talk at this point because I think we're going to pop right back up. I think this market just wants to go higher, higher, and higher. The GDP numbers were positive. I think a split in the midterms is probably going to help the market. I think no matter who gets in as the Fed chair is going to lower rates. It's hard to fight the Fed, and with quantitative easing coming back, I just don't see how you can be bearish. Regional banks at highs. Everything here, and I'll point out HYG again, credit, corporate credit, debt. I mean, again, I don't see how you can be bearish here. You could have a contrarian perspective. I just don't see how anybody can be bearish in this market at the moment. All right, I'm out. Take it easy. Have a great weekend.